Hey there guys, my name is Daniel and welcome back to episode 4 of the Great Kiwi Pie-Off. So before we jump into this episode, I just wanted to do a quick update on the series and a few wee changes we're going to be making going forward. Right guys, so I just wanted to do a quick update on the pie series. It's going really well so far, I'm really happy with it. I'm enjoying going out and eating pies, can you believe it? So I just wanted to add a wee category in there, and I pretty much mention it in every video, and I rate the pastry. So I'm going to add that in as a separate category, rating from 0 to 10. With that, we're going to go back through the previous contestants and rate them on their pastry, and it might shake up the leaderboard a wee bit. I'll flash up the current leaderboard. If you haven't watched any of the previous series, go and check that out now, and then we'll carry on. So we'll start off with our first contender, and that was Sim's Bakery in Ashburton. And for pastry, if you watched the video, I wasn't too happy with it, so I'm going to give them a 2 out of 10 for that pastry. Next up is Sheffield. Now if you watched the video, you know I highly rated that pastry. That pie was fantastic. That's an 8 out of 10 for me for pastry. The last episode, episode 3, was Michael's Bakery in Hillmorton, Christchurch. I'm going to give that a 4 out of 10 for pastry. It was better than Sim's, marginally, but it was nowhere near what Sheffield was. I'm also going to change up how I scored them for price. I think I've watched it through them and they were all staying around about the same. I wasn't really changing the scores that much. So I'm going to keep Sim's a 6 out of 10 for price. I'm going to knock Sheffield down 1 point to 3 out of 10 for price. And I'm going to knock half a point off Hillmorton, so that's a 4 out of 10 for price. So with that has shaken up the leaderboard a wee bit. So Sim's has now moved from second place to the bottom with a 30 out of 50. Next up is Michael's Bakery in Hillmorton with a 31 out of 50. And then Sheffield gets a 37 out of 50. So Sheffield's still on the leaderboard, top spot, but it's just mixed them around. Right guys, with that, let's get back to episode 4 and let's go and try another pie. Right, so for episode 4, we're heading to Fairlie and the bakehouse there. This is owned by Franz Lieber. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, and his family. Obviously it's in Fairlie, in the Mackenzie district of New Zealand, and yeah, it's really good. I've been there before, so excited to go and try another one of their pies and see how it rates to the others. So just recently they won the ANZ People's Choice Award at the Canterbury Business Commerce Awards. Not sure what that's all about, but it sounds quite fancy, and yeah, I'd imagine they did quite well to win that award. I'd imagine it's quite an accolade. So anyway, hopefully we'll get past this van shortly, and we're not far from Fairlie actually, and we'll get to try one of their pies. I got a mince and cheese pie please and a raspberry jam donut. Yeah. Right guys, that was definitely one of the busier bakeries I've ever been to. Jesus, that was mobbed. Let's take a look at this pie then. Certainly looks the business. Right, so that's the Fairlie Bakehouse, like I said. That pie was $5.50, which I didn't think was too bad. From memory, I thought it was a lot dearer than that. So that sort of puts it in between Sims and Sheffield. So I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10 for that, which is, yeah, that's not too bad. Right, next we'll go to appearance. Now this pie looks bloody good. Take a look at this thing. Nice looking pastry, nice wee design on the top. They had a whole cabinet filled with them, you know, it's definitely something that you would want. So yeah, looks on this pie is really good, to be honest. I'm going to score that probably even with Sheffield. So that's an 8 out of 10 for that. So let's tuck in and see what it's like on the inside. Now that's what you want to see. Have a look at that inside. So you've got mince, you've got onions in there, you've got a good layer of cheese. It's well filled. That is a good pie. So for filling, because it's got those extra onions in there, that's a nice little touch that you don't often see. But it certainly brings the whole inside of the pie to life. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 for that. That's the best filling we've had yet. So let's talk about the pastry in this pie. Have a look at it. It's nice and flaky. As you can see, there's crumbs everywhere. This is real good pastry. That's what I want to see with pastry. That's really good. That's on par with Sheffield. That's an 8 out of 10 from me. Let's talk about overall taste of that pie then. So that was bloody delicious, to be honest. The extra onions inside really made it. I'd say the gravy's probably not quite as good as Sheffield, but the overall taste of the pie would be on par with Sheffield. So that's a 9 out of 10 for taste, which is really bloody good. And it was cheaper than Sheffield. As you probably guessed it, I didn't go overboard today. Raspberry donut. Right, so with those 2 bonus points, that brings us to a 40 out of 50 score, which is the highest one yet. I'm really impressed with that. That was really good. And yeah, I think it'll take something special to beat that. It really will. So anyway, I'm just going to finish my coffee, enjoy the wee view I've got here, which is not bad at all. The wee picnic spot just outside Fairlie. So anyway, leave a comment below with the bakery you want me to go to next. So as always guys, thanks for watching and I will see yous all next time. See you later.